So I got the listing. Pretty good, right? Not that hard. So if you just follow my steps on how to get the listing, you'll get to where we are now, which is our first open house. Now, granted, there's a lot of things that go into once you have the listing, what do you do to prep for the open house, and little things like prepping the brochure, right? There's a big $16.5 million penthouse in New York City. So whether it's a $200,000 listing where you are or a $50 million listing where you are, you want to treat every listing the same with regards to the collateral. So I always make beautiful booklets. This is a building called 41 Great Jones in NoHo. Make a beautiful booklet all about the history of the area, the location, the neighborhood, the images of the apartments. It's a lot of money. And the least that I could do is make a nice booklet, right? Also, you create beautiful marketing floor plans. So instead of just a little piece of paper that you print out in your office, spend a little bit extra money and create a beautiful marketing floor plan. So this is a big apartment. It's 3 floors, right? We went through it. It's big. It's got a beautiful roof deck. I want to show something nice. So when the buyer comes through, either to a private appointment or to an open house, they get this and they feel like, wow, they spent some money on this. This is good marketing material. It's going to make them feel better about the whole space, the psychology of the purchase, right? Just like when you're going and buying a fancy car or anything, it comes with a nice brochure. It still blows my mind that real estate agents give out 8.5 by 11 pieces of flimsy paper that they print out in the office, and they say, hey, come spend millions of dollars. Completely crazy. And then once you have all of this ready, you pick your first open house date. In New York City, it's Sundays. Where you are, maybe it's Saturdays, or maybe you like to switch it up and you do a Wednesday evening, maybe 5 o'clock or 6 p.m. when people get off work. Depends on where the open house location is. Depends on who your buyer base is. And that's when you start making phone calls. You call the brokers who have similar listings. You call the brokers who've closed on similar types of listings over the last 24 months. You call buyers in your database. You call buyers who've come to open houses that you've had for other types of listings or your office has had for other types of listings over the last couple months. So you're doing your e-blasts. You're printing out your flyers. You're putting them everywhere that your buyer might come or that brokers that you know have buyers for this home are going to see them. You're sending out direct mail. You're doing everything you possibly can, and now you're here. You're in the home, you're ready for the open house. Now, there are 2 types of open houses that I do and that my team does. You have an A-type open house and a B-type open house, okay? This, for one apartment, for one seller, is a B-type open house. And it's not that crazy, okay? I have coffee from our neighborhood coffee store. I have cookies. This is actually like some of the best cookies ever, and these might kill me. I have all the perfect flyers that I just showed you. I've got the marketing material with the floor plans. I've got the brochure. I've got pricing. I'll even have comparable sales set up in a drawer, so if a buyer comes through and they want to talk about the location, the area, what else is out there, I know exactly what to talk to them about because I know my stuff. And that's really it for the B-type open house. A little bit to drink, a little bit to eat, and oftentimes I'll also bring someone else with me. Maybe I put them outside and they'll be able to greet people outside so you have a great first impression. Or maybe they'll just be helping other people in different rooms if it's going to be really, really busy. That way, my main job is to sell. That way I can find the people that are in the open house, whether it's a group of people or whether it's just one person at a time who I see that are really into it, and I can go after them. I can talk to them about the market. I can give them a cookie. I can give them coffee, make them feel at home. I've got my Bluetooth speaker. I'll put on some Jack Johnson. You know, nothing crazy. Don't weird people out with your own musical tastes. Keep everything calm, okay? And that's when I can really, really push the house and how beautiful it is. And that first open house, that first month of open houses are the most important. So that's the B-type open house. You got something to eat, something to drink, something to listen to. You've got all your market info, maybe put away in a drawer like we talked about, and all of your marketing collateral to showcase how beautiful the space is. And then there's the type A open house. And if I was going to do a type A open house here, I would pick a theme and I would attach it to a story. Remember what we talked about, how stories sell? I bring that story to life. So this building is at 41 Great Jones Street. Great Jones is a really, really small street, and it's an interesting street for its history because it was named after a guy who lived on this street. He was an attorney, actually, a long time ago. His name was Sam Jones, and he was going to give the street to the city, but only if they named it after him. But then the city said, yeah, but there's already this other Jones Street, so what do you want to do? And he said, well, I'm greater than that other street, so you're going to call this street Great Jones Street. And that's a true story, by the way, okay? Look it up. And it's easy to find information on the history of the area you're selling in, just like I just did, through Google, through Wikipedia. It's all there. And if you're in an area that has no history, then maybe you do a theme about the future. What's this area going to be like in the future? You can make something up, make it exciting, make it imaginative. People will have fun with it. So my Type A open house is going to be a themed open house, and I'm going to dress up like Sam Jones. I have no idea what he looked like. I just know that he lived hundreds of years ago. And so I'm probably going to dress up like George Washington or somebody like that. And I'm going to bring people through, and I'm going to give them a tour of this place as Sam Jones in character. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. Ryan, that's so crazy. I'm not dressing up as somebody. That's nuts. That's not going to help me sell a property. Oh yeah? I've done it. I've done it for 10 years, and it works. And are people really going to buy this place because I'm dressed up like Sam Jones? Probably not. But are they going to remember this place because I gave them a tour as Sam Jones and talked about the history of the area, which no other broker talks about, and made the open house actually fun, which no other broker is going to do? Absolutely. And that's what you want to be. You want to be memorable. You don't want to just have another open house with a little piece of paper, looking disgruntled, looking too busy, and having people walk in and walk out. Because every listing you have is a potential commission that you are going to lose if you just don't put in the effort. So all I'm asking you to do, if you want to be the best salesperson you can be, if you want to be me, if you want to be one of the salespeople who are on my team, is you're going to try just a little bit harder. And those are the two types of open houses that I and my team do. Now go and see what you can do in yours. Okay, now I've shown you how to master a Type A or a Type B open house. So now we're going to go into how to master the private showing. So I've got Vanessa from my team.
Hi, guys.
She's really excited to be doing this. And we've got a buyer who's going to be coming through our new beautiful penthouse listing. Her name is Kim, and you're going to watch as Vanessa shows Kim this apartment. And then I'm going to step off to the side. I'm actually going to go into the stairwell. I'm going to watch what's happening on here, and I'm going to take notes, and then I'm going to come through, and I'm going to tell Vanessa what you did wrong and what you did right. Maybe you'll do everything right. Probably not. Let's see what happens. All right? Good. Kim should be here any minute. This looks like a great stairwell. Okay, so let's see how she does.
Hi,
Hi, I'm Kim.
I'm Vanessa.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you. So this is the kitchen.
Okay.
Great kitchen, super high ceilings, tons of storage.
Great. So there's storage under the island.
Yes, it looks like it.
So we're off to a bad start already, if you can notice. So she barely said hi, and she went right into the tour.
Here we have
She didn't
more storage.
ask her what her name was. She didn't ask her where she currently lives. Didn't get to know her whatsoever. Didn't make a 60-second friend. Nothing personal.
More
Went
storage
right
here,
into the
more
showing.
storage space.
Okay. And what is the island?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay.
It's beautiful though.
I see. I would like to know what it was, but okay.
Here's the range, and the oven's over there.
Okay. And does this vent out?
She almost kind of
Not
seems like she's
vent out.
just a tour guide,
Has a
which we
vent
talked about before.
here.
And she's just kind of turning lights on, pointing to things, not even knowing what she's touring.
And over here.
And it doesn't look like this showing is going well whatsoever.
And a terrace.
Okay.
But you don't need to see the terrace. You've seen the terrace before. So we can go to the rest of the apartment. I'll show you the living room now.
Okay.
You have the staircase that takes you up to the roof and down to the bedrooms.
Okay.
And here's the living area. It has a great fireplace, amazing furniture, but that doesn't come with the apartment. And another terrace.
So is the fireplace gas burning, wood burning?
It is gas, and
Okay.
I can show you the bedrooms next.
Perfect.
Okay, so Vanessa's just going through the motions, which is okay. Listen, in a hot market with an amazing space, sometimes just going through the motions gets a place sold. And this isn't a course trying to teach you how to be the best shower ever. I'm trying to teach you how to make the most money and be the greatest salesperson ever. Okay? But in a tough market, when you really have to sell property, you can't just be a tour guide. You can't just be flipping lights on and walking people through a space. She just talked about the fireplace. Why not talk about the fireplace and set the scene? Talking about how unique it is to have a fireplace, even if it is just gas burning. and how great it is to have that in the living room. You can sit there with a glass of wine. You can sit there and read a book to your kid. It's really, really nice. It goes along with the value of the home. There's a lot you can talk about with that fireplace instead of just saying, yep, it's a fireplace.
Now I'll show you all the bedrooms.
Okay. So my one concern with these stairs, having two small children, it looks like there's spaces in between that they could maybe fall through.
So the stairs are up to code, so they really are safe. But if you absolutely love the place, you can always put in a new set of stairs.
Oh, I hate motorcycles.
Oh, I know. Motorcycles are so unsafe.
Yeah, with my children, I just don't.
Okay. When a client brings up an objection to furniture or a staging item, like a motorcycle, which is actually pretty cool that there's a motorcycle in this apartment, don't just say, yeah, that's dangerous too. Like, you want to keep trying to turn the conversation with your buyers to something positive. If they bring up something negative, flip it to a positive. Yeah, motorcycles are dangerous. When they're on the street, this one's in your apartment. How cool is it that you could have a penthouse with a motorcycle decommissioned and sitting here? What a great piece of art. That's how motorcycles should be used, as art. So they're not out there being dangerous on the road. Something, get her to smile, get her to have fun with the situation.
Oh my gosh, this neon light. Oh, it's horrible. With my babies, I just feel like it's, I don't know, bad for them or something. I don't like that at all.
Okay, you should never let a buyer have negative opinions on the furniture, on the staging. All of that's gonna go. You're looking at the bones, the space. If the neon lighting isn't good, it doesn't have to be. Guess what? We can turn it off. Let's turn off those lights. Let's see what you think about without them. Imagine the space without them. I can remove them next time you come. Don't worry about it. It's just the staging. It's just furniture. Let's look at it how you would live here.
I can show you the master next if you'd like to see that.
This building, it's very close to this building.
It is, but it's New York living. Most buildings are close and nobody really pays attention anyway.
I don't know, I feel like they can look in on my children sleeping. It's weird.
Let me show you the master. So,
Wow.
as you can see, amazing light, almost floor to ceiling windows, an exposed brick wall, which who doesn't love that? Another terrace. And as you did not like on the other side of the building, no one's looking in here.
Yeah, that's really great.
Okay, so that's good. So Vanessa remembered that she was worried about the privacy for the back bedrooms and brought it up when she went into the master bedroom.
And that concludes the floor with the bedrooms. And now we can head up to the roof. Best part of the whole apartment, the roof, and even better, it has a hot tub.
Oh, I don't know, hot tubs with my children, it's dangerous.
What? Kids love hot tubs.
Oh, okay, that's a perfect opportunity to tell a story, to sell with a story. This is a penthouse apartment in an amazing location with a hot tub. Reminder too, just like the motorcycle, just like the neon lights, they don't need it. If you don't want the hot tub, make an offer without the hot tub. I'm sure the seller will remove the hot tub for the right offer. Make it fun, build story around it, sell with the story.
So what'd you think?
I just don't think it's for me.
Okay, well, it was great meeting you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey,
All set.
yeah, that was interesting. How do you think it went?
I think it went okay. I just don't think it was for her.
Gotcha. Yeah, I heard her say that there at the end. Okay, so what I want to do now, how do you feel?
Great.
Feel good? Okay. So what I want to do now is I've got another set of buyers coming up. I'm going to do the tour, right? You're going to watch me out there, and then we're going to sit down and we're going to go through the differences based on how you did the tour of the space and how I did the tour.
Great.
All right? So the next video, you're going to see me doing the showing. Here we go. You just saw Vanessa on my team give a tour of our new penthouse listing to a buyer. And hopefully you took some notes on what you would have done differently. And I think there are also a lot of things that you did really well, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. But next, I'm going to give a tour of the same apartment to a new set of buyers. I want you to take even more notes to see what you think that I do differently from Vanessa. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to go through the whole thing, okay? So you're going to watch me do the tour on here. just like I watched you. You can hang out in the stairwell. Don't worry, it's a little bit warm. And I will be back. So they should be here in a moment. I'm just gonna make sure everything looks good, and just let's do this. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi,
Hi, Ryan.
Robert. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Hey, Nick.
Nick, good to see you.
You too.
Welcome to 41 Great Jones.
Cool.
Yeah, this is the penthouse.
Okay.
As you can tell, huge windows, lots of light, and you'll see there's some amazing outdoor space. So what brings you guys here? You guys moving, looking,
Yeah,
living in the area?
we live downtown a little further, and we don't really like our neighbors in our building.
Oh, okay.
We want a better entertaining apartment.
Okay. Well, you found that in this apartment. This is built to entertain. And so I'll give you a tour, but I mean,
Awesome.
just to give you kind of a high level idea,
Yeah.
right? There's over 4,500 square feet interior,
Okay.
over 3 floors, 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. There's a bonus home office space, which is great. I don't know if you guys work from home ever.
Yeah,
Gonna have
great.
that little bonus space, which is really, really nice. It's basically brand new. The current owner doesn't even need it anymore because they have all these other homes. And every time he uses the space, it's really just for entertaining. And then there's a secret on the roof. I'm gonna hold that secret though. I don't want to give it away too soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
Cool. So welcome to the kitchen. Nice big open kitchen designed by Bafi, custom quartzite countertops, beautiful, beautiful Gaggenau appliances. Everything's built in. It's really gorgeous. Feel free to open up anything you
Sure.
want to.
Is this? Oh wow.
Yeah.
This is all stainless.
It is a brushed metal.
Wow.
Yeah, you got some stainless steel, but for the most part, it's all brushed.
Okay.
Yeah. Lots of storage space.
Is there another door into the apartment?
There is a fire exit door that's right there, and there's a couple other doors throughout. So you have 2 means of egress from the fire exit, plus the elevator, plus there's a roof deck on top. So there's a lot of different ways to go.
Okay. It's just a little weird walking right into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, so if you wanted to, I'll show you downstairs. You could enter on the lower level, and there's like this cool little atrium area that's got the double height ceilings with the staircase. You've got a motorcycle down there that's just there for art, so you can do something cool. Or there's a way to do maybe some decorative wall here, maybe like a bookshelf. The current owner lets it all open like this because he likes to entertain. So when people come in, it's automatically like drinks and hors d'oeuvres. Get right to it. But you don't have to do it this way. You could put a wall there, maybe do like a little coat closet on the other side, some hooks, maybe some art, and then reveal the kitchen as you come around. There's a lot you can do.
Okay.
Kind of get the idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? And one of the things I love about this floor, really, is that you have attached outdoor space. Like most penthouses, if you're looking for something to entertain in, they have just a great roof deck, or maybe if it's a townhouse, it just has a great backyard. But it's really rare to find something with these high ceilings, and then you've got private outdoor space with an outdoor grill right off your kitchen and dining area. And then you'll see in the living room, we have a whole nother outdoor space off the other side, so it almost like doubles this whole floor, which is really cool. And you've got to come see this. And you've got a lot of privacy out here. Like no one is looking into you.
Yeah.
You get the clear sun. Even if you don't want to come outside, you just open the doors, get fresh air. I don't know, do you guys cook?
We order
Yeah.
in.
Order in?
We don't cook, Robert.
Well, we grill in the summer, which
Yeah,
is
that's-
Okay, so then you got the
Yeah.
grill for the
Yeah.
summer. It's right there. And that comes with the apartment.
Okay.
Nice outdoor lighting. Maybe you do like some nice lattice work and get some nice greenery that's going up across
Yeah,
the
we
entire
need some
space.
plants on that or
Yeah, that could be
something.
cool.
Okay.
sure.
Yeah.
Is there a formal dining room?
So the way they have it set up right now is the dining space is here. Let me show you the living room.
Okay.
That could be the formal dining room. And then you could do formal living downstairs. This is just the way he has it set up, and I think it
Sure.
works really well for the space.
I just think we do a lot of entertaining, and this the layout right now feels kind of cramped for
Sure.
like this being kind of the heart of the home.
Sure.
And I think we're just looking for something a little bit more expansive for when we have all our guests over and have
Okay.
big dinner parties.
Well, I think the good thing is that the apartment is over 4,500 square feet, and we've only seen 500 of it. So we've got
Sure.
4,000 square feet more to go.
Okay, we'll give you a chance.
All right. Let's walk this way back to the living room. Yes, follow me this way.
Uh-huh.
So here you kind of get a good idea of how expansive the home is, like I was just talking about. So you've got the lower level, which is where all the bedrooms are. You've got this beautiful architectural staircase here, all designed by Morris Adjmi, by the way. Right, Star architected the whole building, did the interior of this apartment too. I love all the detail he's got on the underlay of the staircase. You can see the attention to detail. And we'll go up there at the end.
Okay, great.
So again, it's the top 3 floors of the building. So this entire floor is just for entertaining. Like that way, maybe in your current apartment, if you entertain a lot, do you have the bedrooms on the same floor?
Yeah.
Right. So you gotta like close the bedroom doors and please don't go in there.
Right.
Here, you just don't go downstairs. So you have good separation. So if you're having a party, people can just get off that elevator and go between here and the roof deck.
Okay.
Works?
Yeah.
So nice big open living space. So this is where I was saying, if you wanted to, this doesn't all have to be living. You could do formal dining here, huge chandelier, maybe cute little sitting area over here. And you see you've got a gas fireplace here. You guys have a fireplace where you currently are? I mean, have you ever lived with a fireplace?
Like growing up.
Yeah, growing up.
Right.
Not in New
Like,
York.
yeah, not in New York because it's so rare to find.
Right.
Just imagine like going back to your childhood, sitting
Sure.
here, like with a gas fireplace, with the roaring flame in the winter, watching the snow come down onto your 2 terraces. Like how cool that would be with like your little glass of wine. It would be awesome.
But there's that building like right there. I mean, we'd be looking at that all the time.
But you're looking into 40 Bond. I mean, for one, when you're downtown, it's really hard to get a completely unobstructed view. And I understand that you've got that building right there, and it might not be for you. But each of those apartments is about $10 to $20 million. Some of the most incredible celebrities live in that building. The top floor apartment right up there is $80 million. So as a comp set to this building, like everybody in there is going to be pissed off looking at you that you only paid 16.5 for this one because you got the whole penthouse.
Yeah.
Like that guy for his 3-bedroom paid that.
Yeah, I think it's just a privacy issue, and I mean, just the lighting over here is just so much less. So
Yeah, it also depends
Yeah.
on what time of day. you see
Sure,
it, right?
that's
We're a little
true.
bit in the later afternoon where we've got light coming in on the north side.
Right.
So this is the south side terrace, which for the most part, the rest of the day, this gets great light. So if you want to come back in the morning or something,
Okay.
right? Come back, have some coffee, sit here. You'll see this gets so much light.
Okay. Yeah. I like this outdoor space too.
Yeah, and even from here, you see how expansive this apartment is.
Yeah,
Outdoor
it's
space on
bad.
both sides.
I wish you walked right into this, you know?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we just were looking for something a little bit more open concept for our main floor, our
Sure.
entertaining floor, and it feels like 2 nice small spaces instead of just like one
Sure.
open wow moment,
Yeah.
especially for the price. Yeah.
Well, what's your main priority? Is it one huge open space that's your main priority? Or are you looking for good separation between living and bedroom, finishes, outdoor space, location?
I think we care more about like a big open, impressive space
Okay.
with the outdoor space right off.
Got it. So I know of another place 2 blocks away that's got a huge open living room, kind of what you're talking about, with a big kind of outdoor space that I could show you.
Okay.
It's a little bit more expensive than this because
Sure.
what you want obviously is always more expensive, but it's something I'm happy to show you maybe tomorrow morning if your schedule works.
Okay. And then maybe we can come look at this and see when it's not so dark.
Yeah, that would be perfect actually. We could do that at like 10 a.m., then come back here at like 10:30, 10:45.
That sounds great.
Okay, cool. Well, we still have a lot more to go here, so let me take you downstairs, show you the bedrooms.
Great.
So if you wanted to, like if you're moving in or if you're home late at night or something, the elevator hits this floor too. So you could just take the elevator right to your bedroom floor. You don't even have to go upstairs.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Again, this is the motorcycle.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's fun.
This
It's
could
staying?
come with the apartment. I mean, it's artwork. I think it was one of his older motorcycles, and instead of trashing it or selling it, he decommissioned it, took the engine out for the most part, and just stuck it here as a piece of art.
So cool.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. And you see how dramatic the space is.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah, that's a wow moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So instead of having that huge open space, like maybe people come in here, they come here, they see your motorcycle, they look up, they say, oh my goodness, this is crazy. And then you walk them into the living space, blow their minds with all your outdoor space, and then you go up to the roof and game over. Entertaining done. So you got 2 bonus bedrooms back here,
Uh-huh.
plus a little home office space.
Okay. Wow.
It's pretty with exposed brick.
Oh, this is cool.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, their artwork is very modern, kind of funky.
Yeah.
If you didn't like the neon, obviously that's just furniture, so that can come down. You know, you could put in hi-hats or maybe a nice chandelier. But I love how they kept the exposed brick. You'll see this in the master bedroom as
Yeah.
well.
I love the shelving in here as well. That's
Yeah.
cool use of the
That's
space.
Yeah, and it's private. Listen,
Yeah.
you put the blinds down. It comes with automatic shades. They're guest bedrooms or kids' rooms. Would this apartment just be for you two, or you come with a
I
whole?
mean, maybe kids at some point, but
Sure.
it's really just for us.
Yeah, so these are good kids' rooms, right?
Yeah.
Good kids' rooms, good guest rooms, good home offices.
Yeah.
You know, so they work really, really well. And then you've got to see the master bedroom. Like, I just can't wait anymore. We have to go.
Okay.
You lead the way, as if you live here. Right? Show me your master bedroom.
Is it down this way?
It is. Getting warmer.
We're
Getting
almost there.
warmer. Ta-da!
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah, this is cool.
Isn't this cool?
Yeah.
So what you have to remember too, and I'll give you the floor plan at the end, but I really wanted you guys to kind of feel it as if you lived here. Right? So this whole master bedroom is the same size of the entire living room.
Wow.
Remember, it's the whole half of the entire floor. And they worked really hard to get all this natural brick, right, to be cleaned up. So you got the exposed brick. They even got some of like the original joists that are here from when it was an old like warehouse building. And you get tons of light. So now you see, like, because the sun has shifted, you get reflection off the buildings across the street. You get a lot of light, and this is facing north. You have a little balcony there too, which you can go onto if you want. You get a huge dressing room over here and a massive ensuite master bath. Again, with the same beautiful boffy finishes that you saw up in the
Yeah.
kitchen.
Cool.
How's this feel though? As like
This
a
is
master.
This feels really nice. Yeah.
Like, maybe even a little more than we need, but I love it.
What? That's why you work so hard to get more than you need.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Is it nice?
Yeah. Yeah, I could do this.
Yeah. And I haven't even shown you my secret yet. Remember when you first came in, I was like, I got a secret for you? Yeah. So
yeah.
we have to go see the secret now.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
It's
ready.
not weird. Don't freak out. Follow me.
Okay. Seems a little weird.
Now for my favorite part,
Uh-huh.
the roof.
Okay.
So you want to entertain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a two-sided roof deck. One, you've got your south-facing sun deck, so you can hang out there and get some sun.
Cool.
And then for my secret, you have your own hot tub.
Wow.
Ooh,
that's
that's-
really cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's super unique.
Like, how many apartments are you seeing that have private hot tubs?
None. How did
None.
we get it up here?
With a crane. They literally shut down Great Jones Street.
Oh my
And
God.
the history of Great Jones Street is so crazy. We can go through that later, but it was just nuts. And they craned this whole hot tub up in the middle of the city and they put it here. And you can see it's actually really big. It's big enough to almost be kind of like a mini pool.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys have ever had a hot tub before, but it's, I mean, it's like the definition of luxury.
Totally.
Come home after a tough night, glass of wine up here in your hot tub. And like, I know that building on the back bedrooms, you're like, I don't know. But sitting right here, they built this whole privacy wall. Literally, no one can see you. You're in the center of New York City in one of the most expensive, luxurious neighborhoods in the world, in your own private hot tub, on your own private roof, and no one knows. Pretty crazy.
It's pretty cool.
Cool?
This is a wow, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, our
See, I knew
friends
you'd
would
like
love
it.
that.
So if you wanted to, you could take the elevator right up to here.
Oh,
Right?
really?
Yeah, you can take the elevator right up here, and this could be where you walk people out. Like if you're entertaining in the summer here, you've got flowers everywhere, you got drinks, music going, comes with the whole sound system and everything. It's really, really pretty wild.
Awesome.
All right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of into that.
Okay, cool. All right, I'll walk you back downstairs.
Okay.
So that's the tour.
Okay.
I'll make sure to get you a floor plan and a brochure.
Thank you.
All right. That way you can go through it tonight. It's got all the information on the street, the neighborhood, all the finishes for the apartments, all the beautiful photos. This is the floor plan, so you can see it, because I know it's a big apartment. Right? It's actually, it's huge. So just to give you an idea, like I said, the master bedroom is just as big as the living room. It's totally crazy. So go through that. And then I think next steps would be like what we talked about. We've got that other apartment I can show you tomorrow morning. I'll confirm with the seller and I'll email you guys back.
Okay.
And then if you want, I'll make sure that this place is ready to go so you can come back and see what it's like in the morning light.
Great.
Okay.
That sounds perfect.
Sound like a good plan? Cool. Awesome. Lovely meeting you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great
Be
rest of
good.
your day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yep, I'll hit the button for you. Oh, it's already here.
Great.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
you so
See you
much.
tomorrow.
Vanessa. Sorry to keep you in there for so long. All right. So what do you think?
It was great. It was really good for me to watch.
Okay, good. So what I want to do next, okay, is I want to go through how you did your showing of the same apartment versus how I did mine. And I want to break down for you all of the steps you can take to do the perfect showing of a home. Just watched Vanessa, who's on my team, give a tour of this beautiful apartment on Great Jones, and then you watched me give the same tour of the same apartment, just in a little bit of a different way. And I was hiding out there watching Vanessa give her tour, and then you were hiding out in the same stairwell watching me give my tour. And now we're gonna go through the highs and the lows of both tours and really mark down how you show an apartment or a home perfectly so that you can do it just like we do. So first up, Your client, her name was Kim?
Yes.
Yeah? She walked through. What did you notice was the big difference between how I started the tour and how you started the tour?
You did a much better job greeting them and making them feel welcome.
Okay. Yes, I did. I think at the beginning, she walked in, you said, hi, this is the kitchen, right?
I did.
Yeah. And that's okay, because this is the kitchen. But you always have to remember, and we talk about this all the time, is that every showing, whether you're showing a buyer for the first time or the 10th time, is a place to make a new relationship, right? It's a place to have a stronger conversation, and you're really trying to get to know them and make them feel comfortable in the space, just like it's their home. So I don't want to jump around a little bit, but I don't know if you noticed, like towards the end, we were going to the bedrooms, I did a little thing where I had them show me their master bedroom. So instead of me just saying, and this is the bedroom, and this is this, I made it more fun and said, if you guys lived here, why don't you show me your master bedroom? And they were like, oh, which way is it? Is it down here? Just because they're going to remember it that much better than if it's just another tour where I'm showing them a bedroom. So yes, so I walked them in, I introduced myself, and then I started asking them questions. Right? Did you ask Kim any questions?
I didn't ask her any questions.
Why not?
I was just rushing through the showing.
Why do you think so?
Maybe nerves?
Okay. Yeah, sometimes that's totally okay, especially if you're meeting a first-time buyer, right? And you're seeing them for the first time. It's kind of like a first date, right? Kind of meeting someone for the first time, even on the street. Like you don't really know what to do and you're just trying to get through it. And the easiest way to get through those first showing nerves and anxiety is just to ask questions. Like let the client help you. And they're going to do that by walking you through their whole life story. So what brings you here? Like, have you been looking for a long time? Why are you moving? Where do you currently live? Do you have dogs? Are you recently married? What's your family situation? Just ask them as many questions as you can while also giving the tour, because it's going to help you understand really what they want, right?
Right.
Okay, so your introduction was kind of weird. Mm-hmm. My introduction, I really got to know them and got them smiling, and we started the space. So then we walked into the kitchen, and so I did the same thing that you did. We started in the kitchen because the kitchen's right here. And then what did you notice as the difference between how I showed the kitchen and how you did?
I needed to be more aware of the materials, what everything was made of, what was the actual fridge and not
Right.
storage,
Yes.
the ceiling height,
Yeah.
pretty much everything.
Yeah. So it comes back again to product knowledge and really just knowing your stuff, right? Like, what are we really here for? Right? We want to make money, but they're using us to show them the space. And if we don't know the materials, we don't know the information on who built this kitchen and anything that makes it kind of fun, like it's custom done by Buffy. Right? Buffy is a high-end kitchen and bath maker and designer, and that's really expensive, and that's a nice brand name to put out there. You've got this brushed metal cabinetry that's really actually pretty cool and specific for the space. So there's little things and details that you can talk about that also carry the conversation and help you with the tour. Because the more you know, the less they're going to assume and infer. Because if you don't know anything about the space, they're going to say, yeah, I don't know, I don't like these. But if you say that the countertops are this beautiful custom quartzites, they're going to say, oh, wow, that sounds really cool, right? And then one of the biggest mistakes I saw you make on this floor, don't worry, you did a lot of good things. We'll get to those. On this floor was with that terrace. Do you know why?
I didn't take them outside.
Yeah, why not? I think you said, and that's a terrace, you don't need to see it.
Possibly.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, so that's what happened. And you didn't go out there. And listen, I get it, right? It's kind of a little cold today. And you have these great, huge windows so you can see the terrace. But it's, again, this is a penthouse with 4 outdoor spaces. It's almost over 1,600 square feet of outdoor spaces. The hugest selling point of this is that you get all this outdoor space, especially right off the dining room and right off the kitchen. So you want to try to highlight as many of the positives of the apartment as possible. So part of showing any home is also knowing what the negatives are. So like, look at this room that we're in right now. You walk right off the elevator into the kitchen. That's kind of a negative. Mm-hmm. Right? And then your dining room and your breakfast area is kind of cramped right in the same room. Mm-hmm. So it's actually kind of small. Mm-hmm. But if you open up those big glass doors and take them outside, and then you switch the point of view back inside, now the space actually looks pretty big. So it's not just me trying to show them the outdoor space because it's outdoor space. It's really me trying to consistently reset their memory of the home into the most positive light possible, which when you're outside and you see the grill and you smell the air and you look back at the interior space with the whole home lit up, it seems much cooler than it does when you're in here and you're like, I don't know where the dining table goes, right? So does that make sense why I took them there?
Definitely. I didn't think I needed to take them outside because you could see it.
Yeah.
It's a little cold out, but the way you explained it, I really get how you can show rather than tell how big this place is.
Yeah. And so you also use story. I kept talking to them about why are you looking for a new space? And what they really kept saying to me was entertaining. Do you know why your client was looking for a new space?
I don't.
No, because you didn't ask, right? Which is okay. And maybe she'll come back, but you always want to make sure to ask all those questions so that you can then gear the showing towards what they really want. If they had told me, we hate entertaining, we hate people, we just want to watch Netflix and chill all night by ourselves, then I'd probably do the showing in a different way. I might have taken them right to the living room at first, shown them the automatic blinds, and said, this is a great place. You get one of those restoration hardware cloud couches, get a bunch of bean bags, hang out here, put the showing that way. Right? Because you really are, you're not just selling the home, you're selling their home, like back to themselves. All right, so moving out of this one space, because we talked about this a lot, moving into the living room, one thing that you did well was you talked about the fireplace, but I think the way you talked about it kind of takes us back to what we talk about a lot when we talk about kind of creating stories. So when you talked about the fireplace, how did you do it?
I just told her there was a great gas fireplace.
Got it. And how did she respond?
Sort of disinterested, not too excited about it.
And you just moved on, right? So for me, these guys didn't seem like they needed a fireplace, but fireplaces are actually really, really cool. They're hard to find in New York City. They're hard to find in new developments, kind of like this one, right? And they add value to the apartment. So like I always, in every show, I want to mix how special the space is with also the investment value because they're spending a lot of money. Now, obviously, this is a big $16.5 million penthouse apartment, but even if this was a $400,000 single-family home, you want to talk about it. And so I set a story for them and talked to them about, lighting the fire when they come home at night and having a glass of wine and kicking back, relaxing, entertaining, because that's what they really want to do. And then it seemed like they became into it. Now whether they were just kind of lying to me or not, doesn't really matter because I set the story and they're going to remember now that that living room was big, open, had more outdoor space, and had a fireplace. Okay?
That makes sense. Just sort of build a relationship with them and
Yeah.
make them feel like they could see this as their home.
And that's exactly what we're talking about, their home. So I'm not showing someone else's home. I'm not showing my home. I'm showing their home to them, which is why I wanted them to show me their master bedroom, which is why I wanted to talk to them about their experience sitting in front of this fire sometime in the future once they've bought it. I want them, the minute they walk into the space, to already start feeling and thinking about what it's like for them to live here. Other than just kind of being a tour guide and walking them through the space and pointing to the kitchen and the fireplace and the outdoor space, so on and so forth, right? Yeah, so the big difference. Okay, so then you went downstairs and what happened?
She hated the staircase because it was dangerous for her children.
Okay. And here she did something really good there, I thought. Something that I even totally forgot to bring up, which is when you start talking about building code, which is super specific, right? But which is good, because buyers might sometimes see staircase and say, I can't do this, my kid might fall down. But you said it was built to code, right? Which is good. Like reminding them, listen, you might be a little bit overcautious because this is built to code. The city is very, 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 very protective when it comes to children and outdoor spaces and fireplaces and all these things. So I thought that was something that was good that you did. Okay?
Then she mentioned the motorcycle that was there.
Yeah, that was a great part.
That
Yeah.
wasn't so great.
Why?
I shouldn't have even discussed it. It's not part of the apartment. It's inconsequential.
Right. So she said it was dangerous, and you said, yeah, it's dangerous, and you moved on. Right? So that was my favorite part of the whole showing. So again, it is just staging. It is just furniture, right? For me, if someone walks through and sees a huge sword or a 14th century cannon somewhere, and they have a reaction like that that's negative, immediately make it something that's fun. It's a decommissioned motorcycle. It's there as part of the staging. And guess what? You have an apartment that's so crazy that you could put a motorcycle here, but you don't have to, Or you could have said something like, yeah, you know what? Motorcycles are dangerous. That's why we took this one off the street. We took it out of harm's way and we put it inside an apartment. Flip it around. It's not a big deal for her. It's not going to make the difference between whether she's going to buy the apartment or not because we put a motorcycle downstairs. But you don't want her leaving this house ever remembering anything negative, whether it had to do with the staging, the paint color, or the ceiling heights, right?
That makes sense.
Okay. every home that you show, whether it's this one or whether it's one that's really, really, really small, you as the agent need to know everything that's negative about it so that you can hit all the positives. So you already know when they're coming in, what they're gonna feel, what they're gonna think, so you can immediately either attack it, kind of on the offense, or you know what to do when you're on the defense. So like for those guys, for me, when they came through, they didn't like the open kitchen. And so I really do. So I didn't hit them with something at the beginning as how to change it. But the minute I saw that they didn't like walking into the kitchen, we started talking about ideas where you could put a little wall here, put some art on the other side, and do something like that. I know that everybody who's coming into this space is going to look at that building and think it's a big negative. So it's something that I'm not even going to wait till we get downstairs where you really notice it because the ceilings are lower and the bedrooms are darker. I'm going to hit it right up here. So I'm going to go on the offense on that objection and turn that negative into a positive. And the positive is that it provides a really, really great value for your apartment because those apartments are so expensive. That's 40 Bond Street. It's full of celebrities. The penthouse is $80 million. So you're going to have people who live in there in a regular apartment who paid what you paid to have a penthouse with 1,600 square feet of outdoor space, plus your own roof deck with a hot tub. So get them excited about the value and have them not think so much about the fact that there's another building right there. There's nothing I can do other than put huge trees that block it, which we don't have. So I have to figure out a way to kind of mentally and financially turn that negative into a positive, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so spin any negative into a positive and get out ahead before they can have any objections.
Now listen, you don't want to get out ahead of every objection because sometimes buyers might not notice them. Like there's certain objections to this apartment, like for the fact that you actually have a firehouse across the street. And I don't want to get out ahead of that if they don't really care, if they think it's really beautiful. That's really up to them. And I actually think it's a really, really pretty building. But everyone I know is going to bring that up. And even if they don't, it's good for them to know that they're going to have some really, really cool neighbors, right? And then we ended on the roof. And that's where everything fell apart.
Yes.
Yes? Why?
Yes. I had a hard time overcoming her not liking the jacuzzi.
Yes. Right. And so how did you take that and end the showing?
I said, kids love jacuzzis.
Okay. Yep. Yep. And she was nervous about kids not liking jacuzzis because they can drown in them, right?
I didn't think of that.
Yes. Yeah, especially little kids. And then you came down off the roof deck, which is probably the best part about this whole apartment. And you asked her if she liked the apartment, and she said...
She wasn't too interested.
And then you said...
Okay, have a great day.
Right. So, see, you're laughing because when you say it back to yourself, it's like, okay, that's probably not how we would go about that situation. So when I did it a little bit differently, right? I waited for the roof deck and left it as a secret. So this amazing thing upstairs, right? And showed them the hot tub is a beautiful thing. Now, they didn't bring up kids. Had they brought up kids like Kim did with you, you don't need the hot tub. You can get rid of the hot tub. You can lock it off. You could put a timed lock on it. You could put video cameras up there so only adults use it after a certain time period. There's so many things you could do. But again, the value of having a hot tub on a roof deck in New York is so crazy. How awesome is this? So there's little ways that you can twist it and get around it. But you also have this huge roof deck, so let's not just focus on the hot tub. And then the last thing that we want to go through for how to do the perfect private appointment is I started closing them roughly halfway through the appointment. And I don't think you ever got to a close with Kim the entire time. That's why at the end, when she said it wasn't for her, you didn't bring up another apartment you could take her to. You didn't bring up anything else on the market. And then you just say goodbye because it was just kind of uncomfortable and you almost kind of felt like you wanted it to be over, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. So the way you get around that is the guys that I was showing, I knew that maybe the apartment wasn't perfect for them because what they seemed to really want was a huge open space, which isn't this apartment. But I know the market. I know all the listings, I know all the brokers, I know everything that's out there, and it's not that hard because I just have to look it up and do the research and then memorize the information. And I know that there's one that's kind of like this, a little more expensive, and I brought it up to them and said, I'm going to show it to you. I set the expectations, I started driving the ship, and I told them, I'm going to show it to you tomorrow morning. One of their other big objections on the apartment was that they didn't think it had a lot of light off the south side, and that's also because it's the afternoon now. And so I said to them, and I'm also going to bring you back here to see it during the daytime. And they were all about it. So when I ended with them, even though they seemed like they liked the apartment, I also made sure that the next steps, our next point of contact, our next date was already set up, and that was my close for them. So even if they don't buy this place, and even if Kim doesn't buy this place, I, as a broker and as a salesperson, still have a pretty good chance at getting a deal done, and that's how we make money. Sound
Make
good?
them your client.
Make them your client, right? And help them find their home instead of just being someone who tours people around showing homes. So now we just went through everything that you could have done better during that showing, comparing it to what I did. But that's also why I'm here, right? I've been doing this for a long, long time and you haven't. And if you are watching this and you learned a lot, that's the whole reason you're here. So you can learn from me. And you did a good job. You did a good job. The apartment just wasn't for her, right? You did a really, really good showing. You hit some good points. You went into real detail about building code, right? You showed the whole space. You kind of made her happy as you were doing it. And that's really half the battle, right? That other half is why we're here. And you're going to go really, really, really far in your career. So don't be discouraged. Everything's gonna be awesome and I'm here, all right?
Great.
Everything's gonna be great. So next, we're gonna flip it. So we've been working on sellers, how to talk to sellers, how to pitch sellers, how to show a seller's home. Now we're gonna go into the buy side. How do we work with buyers on showings? How do we work with buyers on pitches? So get ready, here we go. Okay, we've now learned how to get sellers, work with sellers, and sell a listing for the seller. Now we're gonna move on to buyers. Now I meet a lot of real estate agents who say they don't like buyers, which always makes me crazy. Like they like sellers, they like their agreements, they don't want to deal with buyers, but that's because they don't know how to work with buyers. Buyers are amazing. Buyers are great. Buyers are just people with money in their pocket if they're real buyers, and they just want to spend it with you. Why would you not want to work with a real buyer? And the reason most real estate agents don't like working with buyers is because they don't know how to guide. Because buying is guiding. They don't know how to set expectations. They don't know how to see if buyers are real. They don't know how to say no to buyers. Because remember too, buyers are giddy little shoppers the same way little kids are giddy little shoppers in the candy store. They don't know what to do. They're looking everywhere. Everything is possible. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. So what I want to do is talk to you about how to qualify, set up, and excite a buyer to work with you as their buyer's guide. And I actually will include a real buyer's guide as part of this video. And then at the end, I'm going to show you how I qualify a buyer in my own office. So first, never meet a buyer for the first time at a listing, if you can. Now, I know if you have listings, you're going to meet buyers at open houses, and that's great. But ideally, you meet buyers with real meetings for the first time, either at their office, your office, or if you have to, a coffee shop or some neutral place, because you want to qualify them. Because real buyers who aren't just shoppers will take the time out of their day to sit with you and answer questions that you have, because they also realize that the buying process is a little bit scary. And they're about to spend a lot of money, and they want you to walk them through the process. And the process is something you know because you know everything about buying and selling real estate, right? They're going to put their confidence in you because you are better than the internet, right? Right. So you want to set that meeting, and you want to have a list of questions where you ask them, why are you looking to buy? Where are you moving from? How much can you afford? Is there anything in the house that you need? Maybe you have a dog. Maybe you have a love of natural wood-burning fireplaces. Maybe you only need carpet or you only need wood floors. Ask them as many questions as they possibly can, and then break down and explain to them the steps that need to happen next to move forward in the buying process. Otherwise, every buyer is going to take a year to find something, or 2 years, because you let them. And it's not their fault, it's your fault, because you didn't set the expectations from day one. Buyers who aren't real buyers are just shoppers, and shoppers are going to waste your time. And that's not what this is about. Wasting time is dropped balls. You want to have as many active balls in the air so you can catch as many of them as possible, because none of us are in this not to make money, right? You want to make as much money as possible selling real estate, and you're going to do it with buyers and sellers, and those buyers better be qualified. So in that meeting, you're going to completely qualify them, and you're also going to explain to them that buying is a process of elimination. It's not a process of selection. Otherwise, everything is for sale at all times. Let's go look at everything. It's like internet shopping. It becomes an addiction. I can just keep scrolling through and scrolling through. I see my wife doing it every night. I'm like, how many dresses can you look at? I mean, they all kind of look the same. I don't get it. But it's like an addict. Buyers are the same way with houses. Now, granted, you might be in a market with really, really low inventory. Congratulations to you. In New York City right now, tell you a little something. The average days on market is almost 400. There's more inventory in New York City listed right now than there has ever been, ever. How do you think a buyer feels when they get here to work with me? Do you think they sense any urgency whatsoever? I don't think so. Do you think they want to pull the trigger tomorrow because they're going to lose something? I don't think so. So I have to pre-qualify them. And I really like to do that in my office. And just like working with sellers, working with buyers is all about good communication. Because they're not going to buy something tomorrow. If they do, awesome, but they probably won't. And you need to communicate with them every day. New listings, new information, market updates, personal check-ins. Did they have a birthday? Did they get a new raise? Were they out on a town last night till 4 a.m. and you saw it on Instagram? Oh man, you're probably not going to make that 9 a.m. showing that I set up for you. Everything is possible with great communication because you want that buyer to be loyal to you. Another reason a lot of agents don't like buyers isn't just because they're not real, it's because they're not loyal. Because the internet tells them they don't have to be. Because everything you show them is on the market, right? They can see it on every website. So why do they need you? But if you have good and constant communication with them, they'll use you for information. Because when someone's spending a lot of money, they want to do it with a friend. What did we talk about before? People don't like to be sold, but they love shopping with friends. And buyers are great friends. So you want as many of them as possible. Just don't stop the communication. Even if you think they are MIA, what did we talk about in the follow-up section? Remember the client I told you that I met in 2012 who spent $17 million with me in the beginning of 2017, 5 years later? I've never sold anything for him on the sell side, but he was a buyer then. And today, right now, as I'm doing this video, I'm planning my next purchase with him because he came to me and he said, now he wants a place in the Hamptons. He asked me if I sell in the Hamptons. Absolutely, I do. What's your budget? And he told me his budget was $50 to $70 million. From a client that started at $1 million in 2012 on the Upper East Side. That is a buyer that I have followed up with for years. At this point, 7 years. And slowly stayed in communication with him so he never forgot me. Because he doesn't technically need me. He can use anybody in the world that he wants. Or he could do it by himself. But he knows I have the information and I present the value to be the best buyer's guide the world has ever seen. And now you do too. Now I'm going to show you the Serhant way to give a showing to a buyer. So now this is my agent, Sonia, on my team. Sonia, say hi.
Hi.
Thank you for doing this.
My pleasure.
So Sonia has a buyer who she's going to meet for the first time, right?
Yes.
Yeah, her name is?
Elizabeth.
Great. So Elizabeth is going to come into this beautiful apartment, and you're going to show Elizabeth the apartment for the first time, right?
Yes.
And you've never shown her anything else?
Correct.
Okay, so that's perfect for us, because we just went through everything that I know about how to work with buyers, and now we're going to put all that to the test. So what I want to do is you're going to give Elizabeth a tour of this apartment, and then after that, I have a buyer coming. I'm going to give them a tour of the same apartment, and then you and I are going to sit down and we're going to go through what you did, what I did, and go through step by step, just like we did with sellers and how to work on selling a listing, how we can work with buyers, getting them to buy the right way so we can sell more and become the ultimate sales machine. All right?
Great.
So I'm going to watch you on this screen so I can take a lot of notes,
Okay.
and I'm going to hide. I think this is the stairwell. Yep, I'm going to hide in here. So have fun.
I'm gonna go set up.
Okay. Okay, so let's see how Sonia does. She's never met this buyer before. It's her first appointment.
Hello.
Hello? Hi, are you Sonia?
Hi. Elizabeth.
Yes.
It's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
This is the apartment.
Great. Tell me about it.
It's 3 beds, 3.5 bath. So you
Wow.
can see there's very
How high are
high
the
ceilings.
ceilings?
Yeah, double high ceilings.
Very nice.
Great view. We're in NoHo.
What
Very
exposure
hip
is
area.
this?
This is a north exposure.
How is that light? Light's really important to
You
me.
can see, it's decent light. It's afternoon. We can still see outside.
Okay.
So as you can see, there's exposed brick and beautiful high
The
ceilings.
brick is very nice. I do like the brick.
And
But
also,
I would imagine you can't hang any art on the brick, right?
I think there's a way you could do it.
Okay. No, it's okay. There's a lot of walls that I can hang my art on. I have a lot of art.
Art is great.
With the art is a great opportunity to start to get to know your client. If the buyer walks through and mentions the art, ask them, why do they like the art? Do you collect art? Maybe she does. Maybe she collects art in her home in California or wherever she's moving from, and she likes this place because there's a lot of art walls, instead of just saying, yeah, that's art, and then moving on. You want to find opportunities to connect with your buyer. You want to find opportunities to make that connection, build that relationship, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make a friend more than anything, because remember, people don't want to be sold. They want to go shopping with friends.
Here's the kitchen, big, beautiful kitchen,
Wow, yes, the kitchen's very nice.
ready to entertain.
I do. I cook a lot. I like to entertain, so that's very important to me.
Cool.
Okay, so it's good to ask questions like, do you cook? Do you do this? Do you do that? But she didn't continue the conversation. If you're going to ask a question and the buyer responds favorably, keep the conversation going. Try to make that connection. Become their friend. Get to know them and make them see the home as their own and not just as someone else's home that you're walking through that has a kitchen that you could possibly cook in. See the difference?
This is beautiful. What type of stone is this?
You know, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to find out for you.
Okay. And what type of appliances are these? I've never heard of a Gagano. Is it good?
I think it's good.
Okay.
I mean, I've heard good things about it.
Interesting. Is there a
Okay,
garnish as well?
so she doesn't know the product very well, and that's what I see all the time, especially with newer agents. You have to know your stuff. You have to memorize everything. What are the countertops? What are the finishes? What are the ceiling heights? What are the floors? What's the heating and cooling situation? Just memorize the information. It's not that hard, because if you don't know your stuff, the client's going to think you're unprepared, because you are, but worse, they're not going to trust you. Because if you don't take the time to know your stuff, then why would you take the time to know anything that's going to help them in the purchasing process?
That should work.
So it's, as I mentioned before, 3-bed, 3.5 bath. I'll show you the rest. Here we have beautiful staircase. Everything's been renovated.
Staircase is very nice. It reminds me of my home in California. We have a very grand staircase in our entryway.
They did a really nice job of it.
It's very pretty.
So I'm going to show you the master. We do have a powder room,
Okay.
and then big, beautiful master.
Wow.
As you can see,
It's a great size.
this could be a big master closet,
Oh, very nice.
and the bathroom.
Great. Very pretty.
And I'll show you the upstairs.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about the neighborhood.
We're in NoHo, center of everything, super hip,
Okay.
great shops, great restaurants.
That's good. She knows about the neighborhood, which she should. That's good.
So now I'm going to show you my favorite room in the house.
Okay. Let's see
Really
it.
special. Take a look.
This is a really cool space.
Overlooking first floor, great view of all the windows, and great workspace.
What would you do with this room? How would you set it up?
You could make it an art studio
Oh,
or a writing
cool,
studio.
Cool. I do love writing.
See, this is what's so interesting about buyers. Elizabeth is really asking some good questions and trying to get to know Sonia. And Sonia should be engaging back. Had she asked her downstairs a question about art, because the buyer is interested in the art, then when you mention that this could be a good art studio, you'd have a lot more to talk about. You'd have a bigger connection to go into, and she totally missed that opportunity right there.
So what did you think?
I don't know. I don't think this is the right fit for me.
It's too bad. I can see if there's other ones on the market. There might be something else I could show you.
That would be great.
You want to just let me know?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for your time,
You're
Sonia.
welcome.
Nice meeting you.
You too.
Okay, we got a lot to work on.
Hey,
Hey,
we just finished.
yeah, I know, I was watching. That was good. I think there was a lot of good things that you did, but there's a lot of things that we could also work on.
Okay.
Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I have a showing who's coming. I'm gonna show them the same apartment. You're gonna take this.
Sure.
You're gonna watch me, and then we're gonna sit down and we're gonna go through it so that everybody knows how you show a buyer on the first time through their first appointment. Good?
Sounds good.
Let's do it. So now you've seen Sonia. give a buyer a tour of this beautiful apartment that we have. Now I'm going to do the same tour with a different buyer, somebody that I've already pre-qualified, because remember, that's really, really important. So what I want you to do before she comes up is you're going to take this screen. I want you to watch the entire showing because we have the cameras following us around. You're going to go into the fire exit just like I did. You're going to be me. And then when it's over, we're going to come out. We're going to talk about everything that you did, everything that I did. And then we're going to break down all of the steps on how to give the best showing to a buyer, not just to close the buyer in this specific apartment, although that could be great, but how to keep that buyer as your lifelong client and make sure that they close with you eventually, whether it's this apartment or the next one or one next week. All right?
Great.
Here you go. Have fun out there. There's a heater, it's a little loud, but you'll be fine. Careful. All right. Now I'm gonna get things ready. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Yeah,
How's everything?
everything's good.
Good.
Everything's good. So this is the apartment I was talking about.
Very nice.
First thing I wanna show you though is my favorite part. Sometimes I leave my favorite part for the end, but you have 21-foot ceilings here. I know you like a big dramatic space, and so we've got to come into the living room. Look at these little cool details. Like they took the wood floor and they carried it up to the ceiling, which takes you into the mezzanine space, which I'll show you. Like, I think it's super cool. I think it really, really fits you.
Okay. It's interesting.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Got a lot of wall space for
small.
art.
It's a little small because we entertain so much. So I feel like maybe it's a little bit tight with the dining space and the living space all right here.
Got it. So unfortunately in this apartment, there's not a separate dining room, but remember you wanted a loft and you wanted it downtown, and most of the downtown lofts, whether they're older or newer, don't have like designated dining spaces like they do uptown. If you wanted to, you could easily do maybe like a glass sliding wall here. There's ways to kind of divide the space, but like don't worry about the furniture. It's just here to give you an idea. This room is huge. The ceilings are huge. It's totally crazy. And there's a lot of space for art. Do you have a lot of art?
No.
Okay. There's a fireplace there, so you've got a gas fireplace. Do you have a fireplace in your current apartment?
I don't.
Would you like one?
Why not?
There it is. And then also, before we show the rest of the apartment, you've got this amazing kind of Juliet balcony right out over Great Jones. So you like to entertain, you said? You
I
have
do.
people over for dinner
Yeah,
and stuff
all
like
the
that?
time, all the
You
time.
open up these doors, people can hang out here. You know, I know people, they with their e-cigarettes and stuff, have a glass of wine, you can hang out there, look at the firehouse, it's super cool. You're on Great Jones.
The firehouse, though.
What about it?
It's
It's so cool. Ghostbusters. It's New York.
Yeah, but at 3 a.m, when there's a fire, I'm gonna be woken up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, you have firehouses everywhere, okay? So the fire engines typically don't turn on their sirens until they hit the avenue. So that's a good thing. 2, it's a really beautiful building to look at. And it's not like it's an office building that's gross or another residential building where everyone's looking into your apartments. And 3, if you're ever on fire, you know, hair catches fire, something crazy, boom, right there, hose water right out. You will live compared to everybody else, all right? Got it?
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But let me show you the kitchen. And then you've got the beautiful kitchen, which is kind of the centerpiece. I actually kind of like that the ceilings are a little bit lower in here because it makes it a little cozier, right, for cooking. And I
Right.
know you like to cook, what?
I know, but you know that these ceilings are way too low.
But they're super high in the living room, so they
Right.
balance out.
I guess.
I mean, would you really want your kitchen to be in the main space with those huge ceilings? Or do you kind of like it over here, like a little quaint, so that you can cook, maybe keep some smells out of the living room? Because I know you like to cook, right?
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important.
Actually, you know what's really cool? They've got this thing here. Wait, I wonder if it works. Look at this. Because you like to cook, right? The vent to pull all the smells from everything you're cooking comes up from underneath. Instead of having to hang here, so you have this open kind of sky space here, which is really, really cool. Then it's got all these massive fans and what are like, there you go. Isn't that cool?
All right, all right.
So you've got top of the line appliances. It's all Gaggenau, quartzite countertops, brushed steel everywhere. It's a really, really, really pretty kitchen. And I think
Those
for
are-
somebody who wants to cook, I think it's really cool.
Those are so tough to clean, though.
Why?
You know that I love the electric ones. They're sleek. They're
Yeah.
super easy.
Okay, well, guess what? You can easily put an induction stove in here. We can negotiate it into the price. Don't
Okay.
worry about the type of stove or the type of appliance. Just think about the space. Like, could you see yourself cooking right here?
I guess.
Okay, I'll take
can-
that as a yes. I'll take it as a win.
Okay.
All right. Now let me show you the master bedroom because it's on this floor and it's awesome. Follow this way, go to the left. Now I know you haven't seen a lot of duplexes, but it's kind of like a house. Like you see this, you've got more of the bedrooms and kind of guest space upstairs, living space down here with your bedroom in the back. How does the kind of stairwell feel to you?
It's nice.
Yeah, kind of having the separation and stuff.
It is nice to have separation. We have a lot of guests that stay while we're entertaining and stuff.
And then this whole room is your master bedroom with another little balcony off of it, so you have outdoor space everywhere. How's it feel?
Nice.
Nice. It's huge.
It's nice. It's a little dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bedroom.
Yeah.
That's what you want it to be.
It's true.
Honestly, for me, like I just had a baby, and so like I kind of see that like if you put the crib over here, and I don't know like personal situation, but put the crib over here, and you've got all this room. Like a lot of the apartments that I sell, you have my own apartment. It's hard. Like once you start expanding your family, like kind of like where to go into, it gets kind of crazy. I don't know.
Ryan.
Yes,
How
what?
did you know that we were trying to have a baby?
I didn't know that you were trying to have a baby. Are you trying to have a baby? Is that why you're moving?
You're too smart.
Oh, this whole space over here could be a great space for you to like have a little nursery set up without having to like run all the way down the hall or go upstairs. Like it's hard to find a master bedroom that's this big. And then you have this whole dressing area over here and a massive master bathroom suite. It's really, really cool.
Right. Congratulations, by the way.
Thanks. And
I
you
had
too
no idea.
soon.
Yes. Well,
No problem. So what do you think? You like it? Kind of feel yourself in here?
I'm starting to. I'm
Okay.
starting to.
Yeah. It feels like a home, doesn't it?
It does.
Actually looks like your home. Like maybe you show me upstairs. I'll follow you. Go this way. You show me. I'll follow you. I've never been here before. I think these stairs are so pretty.
Yeah.
Like the way the glass is cut and kind of bolted to the wood. These are solid wood core steps. Like it's not just like these gross metal steps. They're really, really cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so this is the mezzanine space. So this is the extension of the living room. If you wanted to, you could do like a spiral staircase coming from the living room into the mezzanine space.
Right.
But I don't think you really need it. I like keeping it separate.
Yeah.
And then they currently use this area kind of as like a seating area, a little library. But this could be your den. You know, you could put a big TV here, maybe keep that whole area down there just for formal dining and formal living. Or this could be a play area eventually when you have a little baby. You know, there's a lot of things you could do up here. You could even put like a sleeper sofa right there and have this be like the fourth bedroom if you needed it to be.
Very nice. Interesting.
Yeah. So what I think we should do next is I think we should bring your fiance back. Okay?
Okay.
So I think this is a good place for him to see, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So let me know kind of what his schedule is and we
Okay.
can make that work. And did you talk to the banker that I connected you with?
I did.
Everything good?
Yes, we started the process and
Okay.
we'll probably be pre-approved in the next week or so.
Awesome.
Yes.
Exciting.
Yeah.
All right. And you talked to the attorney I connected you to as well?
Yes, I did. He was great.
So he can walk you through the whole closing process,
Yes.
closing costs, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
All right. You're almost there.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
and this
you.
has good vibes for you. You're feeling it?
Very good vibes.
Okay. All right. Let's get you home to him. Work
Okay.
on that baby. We'll get him back and we'll go from there. All right.
All right.
And we are back. All right. So let me know when your fiance can make it.
Okay.
All right. Boom. There you go.
Thank you.
I'll
Good to
later.
see you.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Sonia, you're free. How'd I do?
Really good.
Yeah?
It seemed like you really connected with her.
I know, it's so crazy how that happens, right? All right, so what I want to do now is we're going to sit down and let's go through everything that went right and wrong in your showing and everything that went right and wrong in my showing.
Great.
And then we'll come up with all of the steps that everybody needs to do to show their buyers perfectly. All right?
Great.